Rasa Ride Sharing Company arasa.ca என்ற இணையதளத்துக்கு சென்று The Rasa Drivers ஆப்பினை டவுன்லோட் செய்து டிரைவர்ஸாக வேலை வாய்ப்பை பெறுங்கள். மாதாந்தம் $4,000 வரை சம்பாதியுங்கள். வணிக நிறுவனங்கள் Rasa இணையதளத்தின் மூலம் மளிகை பொருட்கள் மற்றும் உணவுப் பொருட்களை விற்பதோடு வாடிக்கையாளர்களுக்கு டெலிவரி செய்யலாம். தமிழில் தகவல்களை அறியாளையுங்கள். GTA பற்றி 40 ஆண்டுகள் அறிந்து கொண்டவரும் வீடு விற்பனை துறை ஊடாக மக்களால் அறியப்பட்டவருமான சிவா பிள்ளை. 416-854-0005. Taxi broker licensed by City of Toronto.
I call him 2-3 times, he's not
answering the phone call. In that case, mainly I prepare it for him because the question he asked me yesterday, I said, rather I'm explaining to you this evening, today evening, you come back tomorrow morning and explain the cap for everybody, and captured question I'm going to leave it a little bit later, and we will discuss other questions. I usually go with first, as you guys know, I always go with first with the $1 million question and ask you guys, are you making a target? If not, what you guys going to do? That's a question I always talk about it. That's the answer. I'll make it short. I value your time for the long weekend, and everybody, nice weather and long weekend, and whoever is here, I want you to make use of the meeting. Please come out and ask me any question. We are a small group today. My expectation is a small group. We'll see. We'll wait and see because of the long weekend. Okay. Okay, guys, whoever is in the group, please, your success based on your habits, your success based on your daily schedule. Whatever the daily schedule you are doing it, that's one going to give you success. Real estate business, only one little things we are repeating again and again. In that case, make yourself the energy level, the day you started real estate, or even before that one, before you start to study real estate, the energy was keeping real estate, keep the same rate of same energy. Only way you can bring up the energy, yes, daily practice, make your schedule clear. 7-day schedule, if you think 7-day schedule is too much, at least make it 6-day schedule, and don't miss the schedule until you make your millions. If your target is millions, okay, if your target is not millions, I want to make only, I'm working and I want to make only $40,000-$50,000 and I want to have a peaceful life. That's you. Whatever your target, daily schedule is more important. I know the Prashad is in the meeting today. I saw his message. He said, I finished my yoga and I finished my walk and everything. Around, I believe the message around 7:45. I'm going ready for Zoom. We had to have a schedule, guys. We had to do daily practice is more important for us. That's behind our success. Okay, make it short again. Your success is your prospecting. When we go to the list, today's listing presentation, that's I'm going to talk about the prospecting side too. How to do the prospecting for the real estate industry. We'll talk about that one. Okay, make your daily schedule, do the prospecting, either buyer or seller, doesn't matter. Today's market is changing to buyer's market, and how are you going to capture your buyers? That's the important one. Think about that one and go forward. Okay, today we have some questions. To answer. The last question I can go for the cap rate questions. That my intention to talk about that first. Okay, one agent called me and he said there's a vacant land. There's a vacant land in 2.5 acres in Peterborough. He asked me, how can I get the value for the land? Yes, it's a good question. We always have this kind of question. For example, as a real estate agent, as a realtor, we have the access for the Toronto MLS, but you don't get the land value for those one. Different lands having a different value based on how far other constructions are going on, and what is the city plan for that area. That's inside information. Yes, what is the city plan for that area, and the sewage, do they have a sewage system, municipal sewage, drainage sewage? Are they going to allow to develop the land? Even though one house you're going to build it, can you able to get the building permit? There are a lot of things are involved for the land side. Then answer his question, I told him, call the land value appraisers. Appraisers are the next level peoples. Their full-time job is valuing the property. If anywhere you have got stuck, we don't know the value of the property, just call the appraiser. Tell the seller to pay for the appraisal cost. Maybe the land appraisers may take $1,000 to go there and value the land. That's one of the best way to do for the appraisal side. It's not that we are passing our job to somebody else, but if you want to get the proper information, our knowledge is always limited in a different field. In this case, different area and everything, let the appraiser to value the land value. That's much better for you guys and safer for you. And then the next one is about the basement. He said he already, the agent called me and said he already made the offer and offer is firm. According to the listing showing the basement, the legal basement, the basement done with the permits. Then his question is real question. If the basement is legal, is it legal? Is a basement apartment? Is a basement apartment? Is a duplex? Or what is the difference between the legal basement and the basement apartment? For example, under the Canadian law, even though your house you buying from the builder, in your basement, you want to make a new wall or any plumbing line, what you had to do, you had to get the permission from the city. That's the permit to do the basement. Is your house? Yes, you already bought the house, but doesn't mean you can do whatever you like, because we are living in the country under the regulations. Even though your house, before you want to build a new wall or new pipelines, I'm not 100% sure about the electric lines. But if somebody is there, you can help me out. But if anybody want to put the plumbing lines as well as the new wall, but putting the carpet and putting the drywall for the basement, we don't need it. But new wall and plumbing, just we had to get a permit. But basically saying, safer side, we are real estate agent, we need to get a permit to do the basement. That's called permit. Legal basement is a permit, but doesn't mean legal apartment. If you want to have a legal apartment, but you have to clear it out. You cannot assume by the agent's comment saying that one legal basement. You have to ask the agent, do you have a permit? Or else, as a realtor, when we sell one house, we are making $40,000-$50,000 in our hand. We had to go to the city and we had to see what kind of permit they applied. What kind of permit they applied, or ask the listing agent to get the permit and see the permit, what are the permit they have. For example, just you can legalize the basement apartment. That's the government, compared to 10 years ago, cities are easy right now. They are giving the permission. But at the same time, if you want to go for a legal apartment, that you have to apply for the legal apartment, and you have to see whether there's a separate entrance, either walkout basement already have a separate entrance, or else you want to make a separate entrance, and what kind of drywalls you're going to use it. If you're going to have a kitchen area, minimum 30 minutes, the fire resistant drywall, and basement and the house, what kind of door they have. Do they have a wood door or aluminium door? Then you have to have the aluminium door to close the fire. At least 30 minutes fire resistance doors. In that case, anything fires come out, either basement or main house, can be separate. It don't easily move around until the fire brigades come. And you don't have to have the two doors, but at the same time the windows size going to be bigger size windows. In case anything is important, the fire brigade is supposed to come in through the windows and save the peoples. These are the one calling for the legalizing the apartment. As for my knowledge, Toronto, city of Toronto, the bungalows, older bungalows are much easier. They already much easier to get the permit, and plus if it in the different areas, it's cost you $10,000 to $15,000, and how closer to the other house is located. The link houses, they don't want to give it to the basement apartment permit for the link houses mostly. But check it out the cities and get the permit. But okay, answer the question for the salesperson. Legal basement doesn't mean legal apartment. Please, when you look at the listing, don't. Sorry, a few minutes was muted. All right. Okay. The second thing, other question. The other agents call me. The transaction is firm. Buyer sending the mutual release for 70. Okay. He finished the transaction. Our office agent is a listing agent. And he received the offer, and the firm offer is 75,000 deposit. Now the buyer saying he doesn't want to take the 75,000. And they send the mutual release to the salesperson as well as the lawyer, and they're saying, okay, the seller take all the 75,000. And what is then our agent asked me, what is the situation and what can I do for this one? All right, buyer said already informed he doesn't want the house. In that case, mutual release. How we going to react for this one? This is, if we sign the mutual release, mutually releasing. Who is the one mutually releasing? Not the salespeople, not the office, not the broker, not the sales agents. Buyer and seller, the party of the transaction, the real estate APS agreement, agreement of purchase and sale. The party of the transaction is buyer and seller. The buyer already sent the mutual release to the seller. If the seller agrees, then sign it. That's a valid contract. In that case, what will happen? The money can go to the seller, and the transaction is completing at that point after seller sign. There is no further lawsuit. For example, we all know the markets, some areas the market change. Maybe, okay, for example, that depends on the seller. If the seller want to go after the buyer for the further lawsuit, in that case, if he sign the mutual release, that's the end. And the 75,000 is a very reasonable amount. And I advise the salesperson and talk to your seller. If you want to sign it with the mutual release and get the money and release the property back, even though the property sells 200,000 less or 150,000 less, nothing you can do after that. But you don't have a right to go to the buyer again. But suing only for deposit, they have to. That can happen only if we have in writing. For example, you are giving the extension. As a transaction is supposed to close in, say for example, May 30th. The transaction doesn't close. The buyer asking extension. The lawyer is giving the extension, or else you are giving the extension yourself. Mostly we ask the lawyer to give the extension. Say lawyer give the extension until June 10th, saying that one, if you don't close the transaction on the June 10th, we will forfeit the deposit. Forfeiting the deposit, that's different than the mutual release. Then the lawyer saying we are going to forfeit the deposit. In this case, only the deposit can go to the seller, but the agreement still valid. If the seller want to go for a lawsuit, he can go for a lawsuit. Okay, for example, May 30th is the closing. Buyer asking the extension, lawyer doesn't give the extension. For example, lawyer doesn't give the extension. The May 30th transaction doesn't close. May 31st or June 1st, there's no deal. You have an agent, you can put back the house in the market, but the seller have the rights to sue for what they're going to sue for, deposit or lawsuit. Suing for deposit is one side, it's easy side, and without seeing the judge, you can even finish it up with the mediation side or very first attempt. But suing for the damages is go as a trial or as negotiations. Hope you understand this one what I said now. Our agent question 75,000. She received the mutual release. If the seller signed the mutual release, 75,000 is a very good amount. Sign the mutual release and get 75,000, and there's no further lawsuit. Understand before you advise, or else don't advise. Tell them to go to the lawyers and get the proper advice. In that case, that's safer. All right. But next question. Yesterday I was handling this one. Our office listing, and the buyers gave the offer, and the offer was offer firm. But before give the deposit, that's the other company real estate, other company HomeLife agent was calling me and telling this story. Before give the deposit, I didn't argue with him. This is a firm deal. Okay, but his argument before give the deposit, he said the closing date need to be changed to June 15. But it's happened only 1.5 months ago. Then our office agent said I could try. I could talk to the seller. Then they deposited the money, and agents keep calling. Can you get the extension until June 15? Our agent asked the seller. Seller doesn't want to give the extension. But he was saying there's a verbal contract. Our office agent said we already clearly told him even 6 weeks ago we are not going to give the extensions. Not we, seller not going to give the extension. In this case, 99% our office agent is not liable because of the transaction is buyer and seller. But careful for the verbal commitments, whatever you give it to the other salesperson. In case complaint to RICO, we had to go through the hassle, and we had to send the letter to RICO and explain everything, even though we don't have proof of the agent saying verbally agreed before I give the deposit. The agent doesn't understand. I don't want to make him understand. Even though he the deposit or no deposit, the deal is deal. In this case, I told our agent, try your best to help other person, but if the seller said no, nothing you can do. But guys, carefully a bit before you give the deposit to someone else. I'm going to make one more time phone call for the agent who asked about the cap rate questions. Guys, please bear with me for 30 seconds because that's my obligation. I didn't explain to him yesterday. I asked him whether he answered the phone or not. I already put the message for you guys. I'm going to go through the cap rate, why cap rate is important for the commercial transaction. I'm going to explain those one.
You have reached the...
All right, the question came yesterday about the cap rate. I already put it in the message group, otherwise I can skip right now and go later. About the cap rate, the salesperson called me yesterday and he said the listing he's looking for one of the commercial, and the commercial showing cap rate is 4.7% cap rate, and he asked me what is the cap rate and what he has to do and he needs some explanation for the cap rate side. All right, cap rate means it's a capitalization rate for the commercial building. We don't use the cap rate for the residential places or sale of business and commercial. We don't use it. Multi-residence, we can see the cap rate, but not 100%. We don't get it the multi-residence cap rate, but the regular commercial plazas, or even just one single commercial unit, we can use for the cap rate. Under the cap rate system, cap rate means capitalization rate. For example, when you buy the house, you fall in love with the house and you buying there and looking for the square foot of the house. Where is the kitchen located? Where is the basement located? And how the basement looks? And whether it's the income basement or a luxury basement, or how feet is the yard and everything. That's for the residential properties. Commercial properties, either we buying for our own usage, then we don't look for the cap rate. Otherwise, how much money we going to put and how much money I can get back. I get back from that particular plaza. That's the reason we are looking for the cap rate. And another reason why we are using the cap rate. Okay, for example, residential valuation. Every agent we do the valuation for the property. You studied valuation for the residential property. There are two kind of valuation. The valuation you studied maybe in your course 2 classes. One replacement cost calculation. That's for the insurance company use. Or else the custom built houses we use for the replacement cost valuation, and there's the market valuation. What is going on the market? 30 feet lot with 2,500 square foot houses. How much going on with the next door neighbor and 1 kilometer circle? They are the same street. That's a regular calculation. But commercial we cannot do that one. Even though commercial plazas, for example, commercial plazas, store and apartment. Say, look at the store and apartment in the Danforth Avenue. You can see there are so many store and apartment in the Danforth Avenue, go Coxwell, or even downtown Toronto, Lansdowne, wherever you can see, but everything is different. Even EC4, Danforth Avenue, even though joined together each other, but this is freehold properties, but square foot is different. In that case, there's no comparison. Someone come with three plex, someone come with 4 plex, and there's some come with no parking. There's coming with the parking. In that case, the comparison is not much there. Then we need a cap rate. How much price they asking, how much return I can get. That's called cap rate, capitalization rate. Okay. How to calculate the capitalization rate? Capitalization, that's what I'm going to tell you guys. If you want to write it down. Capitalization formula, R, capitalization rate, R is equal to IOV. I stand for net operating income. Divide by value. Again, if you want to write down somebody or make a note about this one, cap rate formula, or else you can Google it and find it. The cap rate formula R, return of investment, cap rate R equal to I over V. I stand for net operating income. V stand for value of the property. And for example, I have an example. I wrote down the example this morning. Example, property value is 2 million. Say you're looking for the property for 2 million. The $2 million worth of property, say income, you are getting $8,000 as an income. $8,000 per month, you are getting the income. When you get $8,000 income by 12, $96,000. $96,000 gross income, not net income, gross income for that particular investment property. $2 million property, $8,000 income, $96,000. Net operating income calculation. Gross income minus TMI. Gross income less TMI. TMI, the word TMI stands for tax, maintenance, and insurance. For example, I pick some example, round figure example, make it easy for my calculation. Taxes, say $2 million plaza, taxes 9,000. Maybe in reality might be a little bit more or less. Say taxes 9,000. Maintenance, you are giving the maintenance company to maintenance the property, $500 a month. For the maintenance, then $6,000 for the maintenance. Outside bills maybe, not inside utility bills and everything. Who pay? The tenant pay. We don't need to worry. Say our plaza, take our plaza as an example, outdoor parking lot lights, outdoor lights, those are the things, okay? It may be the bills, maybe I put the bills a little bit more for the maintenance and the bills, $3,000, multiply by 12, 3,600. And insurance is a killer right now. One of the day insurance only $20, $30, now insurance $1,000, $2,000 anyway. Then I put insurance $2,000. In this case, TMI, tax, maintenance and insurance, coming around $20,000 for this particular example. Then $2 million plaza, tax, maintenance, insurance around 20,600. For the net operating income calculation, we don't take the mortgage interest. For the Revenue Canada tax, when you declare the tax, just you show the mortgage interest. And your cash flow, you take not only take the mortgage interest, you take the real mortgage, how much money you are paying for the mortgage from your pocket. But net operating income, you are not taking the mortgages. The reason you are not taking the mortgages, mortgage interest based on your knowledge. How do you qualify? Your interest rate, your down payment, size of the down payment, and your size of the your credit worth. You are a high credit 800 score person or a 500 bad credit person. But the property value doesn't affect the person who owns. Property value is property value. The mortgage interest based on the calculation, who you are and what is your background and what is your financial status based on that one. In that case, under the cap rate calculation, we don't consider the mortgage value. Okay. Now the property value is 2 million and the net operating income, gross income is 96,000. TMI come up to 20,600 based on my calculation. That's mean the net operating income 75,400. Then I am applying for the formula. R is equal to IOV, return of investment. My money, how much return I want it. Say for example, I want it for 5% return. Today is 5% is funny number because the inflation is 6.8. But at the same time, anyway, we are looking for the 5% return of investment. In this case, the property value listed for 2 million. If we go for the 2 million value, your net operating income is 75,400 divided by 2 million. By multiply by 100 is coming up to 3.77% cap rate. If you buy the property with 2 million and based on the income, whatever he receiving it, your cap rate is going to be 3.77. As a regular investor, what they're looking for cap rate? At least 5%. Even though Canada, unfortunately, right now 6.8% inflation, but see, we still looking for cap rate of 5% cap rate. But the next one, how are you going to get the 5% cap rate? In that case, you know the formula. R is equal to I over V. R, return of investment, you are looking for 5%. I, 75,400. In that case, use the formula. In that case, income divided by the 5% is 0.05. Then it's coming up to 1.5 million, 8,000. Then if you want to get the cap rate of 5%, you had to bargain the price and bring it down the price to 1.5 million. Then only you can get the cap rate of 5%. This is a question that the salesperson asked me. If you have any question, just stop me and ask me before we start for the listing presentation side. I am here for you guys, not to finish my work and go home. But if you have any question about the cap rate or whatever we discussed, just stop me and ask me. Or if you have any other questions, stop me and ask me. That's good number today. I expected only 30 people. Victoria Day, long weekend, we have 63 agents in the group. Oh, I'm very glad today. I didn't expect this at over 60 people in the group today for the long weekend side. Okay, if you have any questions, please stop me and ask me. Otherwise, I'm going to start with the whatever I send out the message for you guys. Okay, I sent out the message. First, I sent the message for sorry guys, double checking. Okay, buyer agency agreement versus customer service agreement. Yes, this question I supposed to discuss last class. The salesperson asked me this question last class to discuss. Last class little bit delayed, and I skipped that one to this class. Okay, why we want to know about that one? That's the important part. Why we want to know about the agency agreement? to make more money, guys. Whatever we do, we want to make more money. For example, the salesperson called me last week and said, it's my own listing. It's my own listing. I have a buyer. He signed a buyer agency agreement in the Ottawa Real Estate Board, not Toronto Board, Ottawa Board. He signed the buyer agency agreement with the other salesperson to buy the property in Ottawa, not in Toronto anyway. But still, that's the question I received from that particular salesperson. Then it's my own listing. They want to buy the property with me. What kind of agency agreement I need to sign? Do I need to use any different agent, or I can use it myself? This is a very basic question, guys. I repeat the question again. The salesperson, our office salesperson, listing salesperson called me and said the listing, somebody walk-in buyer or the buyer came from open house and they are interested. And they disclosed, they already signed a buyer agency agreement in Ottawa Real Estate Board with the Ottawa Real Estate salesperson. And they are in Toronto right now, we're looking for the property. And they asked me, the agent asked me, what kind of agency agreement I had to sign and protect myself, not to get in trouble for the commission. And whether I signed a buyer agency agreement or customer service agreement, do I need to use a different agent from our office? My answer is, if you are the listing agent, please carefully, it's a very important one for every single one of our office. If you are the listing agent, or else our office agent, listing agent and our office agent are coming under the same group of people because of the same office. The listing belongs to the office. Even though you put the listing, office belongs to the listing, okay? But anyway, you are the one listing agent, somebody walking in and they like it. If the somebody like it coming in, we are going to talk about the client versus customer agreement. Okay, according to the new budget and everything, there are changes. They're going to eliminate the client versus customers issues. We don't have the clear answer yet. But anyway, at this moment, client, who is your client? The seller is your client. You already signed the listing agreement, seller is your client. You have to give the full disclosure to the client is your seller. But the person who walking in as a customer, that's not your client. And want to see the property and they want to buy the property. In this case, the person who is coming to you signed the customer service agreement. Customer service agreement is more important than the buyer agent agreement because they are not your buyer. Yes, you can sign the buyer agency agreement if you want to sell other properties, but your same property, based on my knowledge, when we go to the arbitration, we are seeing so many different things, guys. Based on my experience, we are seeing so many different things for the arbitration side. But my advice to you guys, if you own listing, somebody walk in to buy, sign the customer service agreement. Advantage of that one, for example, customer service agreement, we don't have to register anywhere. We don't have to register it in the system. Customer service agreement, the Toronto Real Estate Board doesn't have the place to register for the customer service agreement. Buyer agency agreement, yes, after you sign, you had to register it for the buyer agency agreement, make it more valuable and everything. But this particular question, if you own listing, she asked me, can I use different agent for this one? Not necessary. You can use a different agent, but based on the real estate regulations, based on the arbitration, based on RICO rules, this both are same because both are working at the same company. You have multiple representation falling under either you doing it or your salesperson doing, our other office salesperson doing it. My answer, if the person is your customer, walk-in client, want to buy your own listing or the office listing, is a customer service agreement is the best thing. Even though they sign, I don't mislead anybody. I'm not giving you any wrong information. Even though they sign any other customers buyer agency agreement with the different salesperson, still we have more power to argue for the customer service agreement if we have the customer service agreement. Okay. My advice for the customer service agreements are important only for the walk-in buyer coming to buy from your open house, or else you are doing somebody's open house, the office open house. All right, that's all I sent today. In the WhatsApp group message, buyer agency agreement versus customer service agreement. Okay, how to prepare for the listing presentation? Okay, we're going to talk about the listing presentation. Today's market is changing from listing to buyers, but still we did last class for the buyer side. Today I'm going to talk about the listing side. Listing is one of the asset of the game. This listing is one of the inventory for our real estate game. Then listing is very, very important. Without listing, even though you are working with the buyer or market change or market become from the seller's market to balance market, doesn't matter. Without listing, our industry nowhere to go. That's been the listing. Listing is the one going to give us higher income. Just we can work with the buyer. Even one of the time our top producer, he said, I don't like listing, I want to work with the buyers only. And he was a top producer for a few years. But at the same time, listing, guys. Without listing, we cannot go to the different level in our business. Okay, under the listing category, for example, why the listing is important? For example, when we start real estate industry, I said when we start, I'm talking about our office and our agent and South Asian group of people. We use the shortcut. We use some advantage of the community advantage. When we start real estate, we are thinking about, I help my brother to buy the house. I help my sister to buy the house. I was involved in few houses. Then I want to do real estate. When we become real estate agent, what is our target? We are looking for the center of influence. Center of influence means looking for the family, village people, same group peoples, and our friends and those kind of group. That's the opportunity we have as an ethnic group, and we are one of the family peoples. We are one of the community work as a group and work as a community base. In that case, even though we don't get the listing right away, we always start to work with buyer because the buyers are available for us. Buyers were available for us. Even though I am teaching you guys, but when I started real estate in 1995, my buyer class was my tax clients. Then immediately I started to take the tax clients out and trying to show the properties and sell the properties, working for years and years with the buyer clients, because that was the opportunity that we blessed because we work with the community. Okay, today we are talking about the regular listing. 121 years old Canadian regular Canadian boy. He says, don't think I'm talking about the colors or anything. He says a white Canadian. They are not a community people. There are some of the European people. They have some community background, but still mostly not like our Asian group of peoples or Chinese group of peoples or Indian Sri Lankan group of peoples or Bangladesh group of people. They are working more independent. In this case, what they have to do when they become real estate, the training for the real estate industry. Once you have the license, what is the next step to do? Doing your marketing and get the first listing. Do your marketing at the first listing. That's the training. So that's the training I got when I started 95. I got the training from the real estate office where I work and whichever the trainers you go. Once you become the real estate, then you try to get the first listing. Then how do you going to get the listing? Then we are going to talk about the real estate prospecting, listing prospecting. Okay, for example, I'm going for the old-fashioned style, guys. But still we can at the end we can talk about the today's social media and the different marketing. But I'm going with the old-fashioned side based on David Knox notes. I'm talking about as a real estate agent. You don't have a clients. You have enough free time. You don't have a clients. What are you going to do? This is the way. Okay, looking for the listing. How are you going to get the listing? When you go to the listing, first sale by owners. Sale by owners is one of the part for sale by owner, because the listing site I'm talking about not the hot market, it's a regular market. For sale by owners, everybody doesn't want to sell the property. They want to save the commission, and they put for sale by owner. And when they put the sale by owner, under the statistics, 70% to 80% of the for sale by owner properties, other than the main street properties, main road properties, less exposure properties, definitely go through the internet and listing market. Then for sale by owner property, there are so many ways to approach the sale by owner, but that's one of the way to get the listing. Okay, for sale by owner. If you want to approach the sale by owner, there are many ways. But before you go and approach the sale by owner, you have to expect the rejection. Sale by owner sign. Every agents go there and knock the door. They don't want the agent. They want to sell it themselves, but you are not invited for his house. In that case, there are So many ways to handle it. The best way to handle the sale by owner listing, send the package, make a package and send the package to sell them. The commission you are not paying. I'm going to get the commission from the buyer. You tell me your target price. I will add the commission and charge the commission from the buyer. Then make him understand you are not the sale by owner is not you are not paying the commission. Even this same strategy, wherever the listing presentation you go, mark your notes. Make understand your seller. Seller want to pay you 3.5% commission. You asking 5% commission. Tell them you are not paying the commission. Then why you are worrying about the commission? I'm going to sell more price. You tell me your target price. I'm going to make it more, and I get the commission from the buyer. That's kind of strong word. You had to have it when it's come to the commission side. Okay. Mostly the major way to do get the listing is unknown peoples. You are going to talk at the unknown people. So uncle, auntie, and everybody want to sell it. When you are new, it's very hard. They will come to you and list the property with you. Don't get upset with them. But the same day you go your bulk marketing. The marketing you're going to do for the farming, door knocking, calling category. Farming is works. Any market farming is works. But before you do the marketing, you have to select the area for the farming. Farming means, okay, again, farming means, what is farming means? Whoever joined late or anything, if somebody miss it, we are talking about how to get the listing. When we start to get how to get the listing, you are starting fresh, brand new. You don't have anybody else, then you are starting. But the first thing to do, get the first listing and list the first listing and take the clients as a buyer. Try to show the clients with the buyer experience. That's the way to go for the real estate industry. Okay, first I said expert listing. It's in the sheet. I am skipping so many other old-fashioned styles. And the farming is important farming side. Farming means what you have to do the farming. The farming we always teach 14 days farming or 21 days farming. What is that means is farming means you have to select the area. You have to select the area and you have to make the farming material. That's been advertisement material. Either you can make the door hangers or you can make the postcard size material. What are the material you like? If you like I always prefer for the door hangers. Door hangers I always prefer for the farming side rather than the regular postcard size you pushing inside the house. That's too personal, and they hang it out in the every door come with the doorknob. Then you can put it in the door hangers, and then anywhere you do the farming. Okay, the door hangers are better. The reasonable size 1 feet. 1 feet is good rather than going 2 feet or 1.5 feet. Door hangers are better for the farming material, and plus both side. Make sure both side is you. Not the other side is an insurance agent or mortgage agent. This you, some insurance agent and mortgage agent come and ask you, I'll print the material for you, free of charges. Don't fall into that category because you're going to walk in and putting everywhere. I want your pictures both sides, okay? And all the materials you're going to be there on the both sides. Door hangers, make the door hangers ready. And what you have to do, you have to take the calendar. I'm telling the old-fashioned idea. Take the nice calendar and mark it where you're going to do the farming. Before you do select the houses for the farming area, you're going to walk in yourself. I'm not talking about the Canada Post delivery, and I'm not talking you hiring somebody and doing it. You are doing it yourself first, that area. Even MPs now, before they come to the election, they are walking in every houses and door knocking and doing the flyers and asking for the vote. After they become an MP, they have become ministers. They started with door knocking. In that case, real estate agent. We want to make money. Why not door knocking and doing the farming? Okay. Then what you have to do, select the area. Say 5 days farming. I'm not talking about 7 days farming. 5 days farming, plus I'm putting you are a worker. You are working full time and you are going to do part time. If you are a full time agent, you have lots of time. You can do a lot of things. But I'm talking about the minimum guys. You are a part time agent. You are selecting yourself for 45 minutes farming. Everybody, we are putting 10,000 steps these days. 10,000 steps is good for everyone. 10,000 steps, how long you need? At least 45 minutes, 1 hour and 30 minutes. I'm talking about less than 1 hour farming. Okay, for example, you are working there and you are selecting yourself 5:30 to 6:30, you're going to do the farming. And you select the area. When you select the area, my advice to you, select the area for the townhouse complex and the semi-detached house complex rather than the detached house complex. Detached house, you had to walk more. If you are looking for the townhouse complex, you can put more flyers, short period of time. And townhouse complex, people are living the low, middle income or lower income peoples. And the townhouse peoples are living there, the younger peoples having 1 or 2 kids, they are the transition time, they are living in the townhouse. They wanted to sell the townhouse and make some extra 200,000, 200,000 extra money and buy the house. Then if you farm and to get the listing for the townhouse, there are much advantage. Even though you get the lower listing, the value of the product is lower. They're going to buy a house. When you become as a buyer for you get 2.5% of the detached house. And in that case, and plus distribution, more houses are on the properties. Whenever all my meetings, mostly I pick for the Shepherd and Markham Rosebank complex, or else Meadow and Shepherd townhouse complexes. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. Townhouse complexes are good. Okay, then you have your calendar ready. When you say calendar, I'm making a calendar for myself to explain to you guys. Okay, your calendar is ready for you starting with May 23rd. Forget about holiday. Anyway, May 23rd, you are starting to 1 hour farming. 1 hour farming, you are doing it. In this case, what you have to do? You have to select the area. Say you are selecting an area, for example, Rosebank area you're selecting, and you have to start to do the farming at 5:30. For example, you finish work at 4:30, you come there in your car, all the farming materials are ready. You are going there, you park the car, and you start to change the shoe, you start to walk. When you start to walk, there are so many, sometimes the agent doesn't care what is going on in the area, they're listening the songs and walk. In my side, focus, where are you walking? Okay, you can listen to the songs later on. Just go with the farming material, and you're going to go there and start to do the farming yourself. First day is hard, second day is hard. When you go to the next time, you feel like that's it. After 2 times you go there, you feel like that's the area. Okay, when you start, maybe 45 minutes you're going to do the farming. Then you go there at the area at 5:30 and change your shoe and get ready and take the farming material, bunch in your hand, and park the car in the safer place and walk in, and you are going house to house. If when you start to walk, what you had to do, you had to accept the rejections. If somebody else might stand and they, I don't want to sell the house, don't put the materials. Or else if more people are standing in front of the house, just skip that house. Or else give it to the hand rather than you going to the door. Okay, just use your common sense. But you have to understand some rejections may come. You may get some comments. What do you need? Your focus is only one thing. I want to get the listing. You don't care anything else. They are not invited you. You are asking the listing. In that case, don't get offended when somebody says something. Okay. Okay. Go there and do your farming. And say first day you going there and walking slowly and looking the areas and everybody. If somebody stand and talk to you, just just to talk. Few minutes talk only, not too long talk. Few minutes talk and get you're just walking around and doing the flyers. Just you finish Monday. Once you finish it Monday, you come back and you mark your calendar. You started from say 6 Rosebank, you started there and you finish around 52 houses, townhouses there, you finish that one. And you're going to there in 8 Rosebank or 30 Rosebank, 35, you mark it out, everything. And the Monday you finish your walk, 45 minutes walk, that's enough. And you mark it in the calendar, which place you started, which place you ended. And which house has said, don't put the flyers in my house. And whoever said, yeah, they casually said, I may going to sell it for in 6 months time. You mark all the notes in the calendar. That's enough. What you had to do, your farming, you had to go to the same area, same area in the Monday at 5:30 in 14 days time or 21 days time. That depends on the market. Today's standard, month of May, you had to go every 14 days. Every 14 days, because June, July is the May, June, July is the biggest listings months. In that case, you had to go every 14 days and put your flyers again and again and again. You had to go. Usually we had to start our farming for the spring, capturing the market in the February month of February. We had to start month of February and March, April, mid-April. After 6 weeks, we had to go. February, March is 8 weeks. After 10 weeks, we had to go for a door knocking. We had to go for a door knocking, the same places. After you place around 8 times, minimum 8-9 times your flyers, your face familiar with the people who live there. When you go, then after follow by the farming, there are 2 things you have to do. Once you start the farming, you're never going to stop that area. Your farming area is your farming area. That's one. That's it. That's yours. Then you have to do it, even though you can see any 10 agents can farm that area, but you are doing it everyday basis. Continuously you are doing it. After 1 year, everybody say, oh, that's his area. Then other people doesn't want to go there because of he's doing there. I know Aaron Chelappa in our team right now. He's not here. I saw his Facebook messages. He was in Sri Lanka, and he's in our time, late 90s. His farming area is Bellamy. He's still doing Bellamy area farming. That's his one. And other office agent, I know that the one of his agent from Remax 1994, I believe, is in Canadian Lawrence. That Remax went for bankruptcy. That agent was farming it in Victoria Park, and the railway lines area. That the road name doesn't come up. Then what he did, he put his son to do the farming until now. If you start the farming in one place, guys, that's your place. You have to continuously doing the farming. But within how many days you go to do the farming, that depends. And there are busy times like February, March, April, May, 14 days farming. After that one, at least once a month or 21 days farming. You definitely get the listings from that area. Okay, after you do the farming, you have to do 2 other things to get the listing. 2 other things, get the listing. Minimum 2 other things. Door knocking. Cold calling, I don't advise cold calling these days because cold calling, everybody have a cell phone. Not many people have the houses. We don't have phones these days. The ringtone is different for the marketing calls. Ringtone is different if you call from different softwares and different websites. From the street phone numbers. Cold calling, I don't advise right now. That's up to you. But the door knocking is very, very, very important. If you do the farming, if you don't go the door knocking, you lose. Then door knocking. When you want to go for the door knocking, Mike Ferry, one of the followers for Mike Ferry, he always say, door knocking, go for the morning. And one of the guy here, the Michael Appleton, he came and did the training for our class. Our agent, Loga Kumaresh, he arranged the Michael Appleton before the pandemic for every time. He's one of the RECO director, but he was the first person, I believe, when he was there in the meeting. He said, go for the door knocking while people are there, but the morning is good, but go for Saturday mornings. That's one of the important. That's one of the good part. Anyway, you select the time to go and knock the door, but after that, but you had to go and knock the door and ask for it. Maybe when you knock 100 doors, one door open and ask you to give the listing, you are extremely success. But in our rate is 500 doors. If you knock 500 doors, you may get one. But still, you get the listing. That's the way to go. Once you get the listing, once you get one listing, there's another marketing. I'm going to talk about it. But after you, the other way of getting the listings other than the farming and door knocking, the power sale listing. The last 2 years, we don't get the power sale because market was hot. Now, you can talk to the mortgage brokers, ask them for the power sale listing. We can see it in the future months. We may have some power sale listing might come out. You can ask the power sale listing, and you can use a newspaper advertisement, classified newspaper ad. Classified newspaper ad is one of the major one for our community now. Since the pandemic, not many people want to touch the newspapers. They ignore the newspapers and walking around. And classified ad is good for the listings. Now you can do today's marketing level. You can do the online marketing, the Instagram, Facebook. You can advertise and your marketing material. Send out your marketing material and send the bulk email if you have the database set up. Send the bulk email and asking the salespeople to ask your clients to list the property. But today's channel is working with the unknown peoples. My focus is today for the farming side, guys. Don't tell me you don't have a clients. Don't tell me you don't have a listing. Find a place and go and every day walk 10,000 steps. Everybody doing for fun now. As a real estate salesperson, why don't you walk 1 hour and do your materials and do the disciplined marketing? You will get the listing. Once you get the listing, the money is going to be there. If you get one listing, the a person who listed is going to be a solid buyer, then they're going to look at buy the property. If you get one listing, you are talking about $50,000 commission, guys. Okay, after you all the marketing and material and everything, assume they don't open the door, but at the same time they are calling you. They are calling you and said they call you get a phone call for okay. I'm with a different wording. You get the phone call from the referrals or a past client or as a new client is calling you to list the property. In this case, what you had to do, you had to do the phone conversation. What kind of conversation you're going to have? What kind of conversation you're going to have? First, they will ask you, are you a salesperson for this area, Meadowland and Shepherd area, for example? You answer, yes, I do. I have, and get the address. Try to get the address of the person who called. Try to get the address. Immediately, address is important. As a realtor, you know, once you have an address, you can see the whole listing. You can go to the GOA house and see the GOA house and see when they bought the property and how many people have the property and everything. You can get everything, but the only thing you need little piece of information is the address. Second thing, get the name and the phone number of the person who called. The person who called is more important than the person who owned the property. Please take my word carefully. The person who called you is more important than the person who owned the property. Maybe the person who called you have some reason they're calling you. Maybe father, mother, auntie, they have influence with the person who owned it. In that case, that person is more important. And immediately you tell them, okay, I get the free valuation for my house. Your house, I can do it free valuation. Try to get the appointment to go to the house. That's what you have to do. Try to get the appointment to go to the house. Then how soon you want to go? Definitely you have to give them the phone call you receive and the going time at least 4 to 5 hours, not immediately. If you go immediately without the preparation, you're not going to be success. Then you have to get prepared yourself. And the client doesn't want to feel you are desperate and sitting there in the office, and one they call you, you are coming to the house, you lose your respect, okay? And you have to do the preparation first. One of the example Mike Ferry always use, go in the listing without the preparation. Go in the listing without the listing package. Go to the listing without the listing folder. Customizing the listing folder. This is the answer for Mike Ferry. Okay, you are going the listing without the listing package, without preparation, without CMA, without having the customized package. Your folder, your folder, customized folder. The comparison: the pilot taking the flight without checking the fuel. Pilot taking the flight without checking the flight is good condition or not. He never going to come back. Same thing if you go without preparation for the listing package and your customized folder and all the documents, hard to get the listing. Then what we going to prepare it? That's what we're going to talk right now. Once you have the address of the person, once the person who gave you the address, phone number, house address, what you have to do? Your first job, go to the MLS and find the old listing. If there is any old listing, doesn't matter. Maybe new house, the first time they want to list it. If they have the old listing, you are lucky. You can get more information and go to the street view, Google Street View, and see the house outside. See the map. Where is the house located? How far is the house located from the main street and all that information. Go to the GOA house. According to the law, as a broker of record, I had to be careful here. GOA house, you can use it only you are only the listing purpose. Anyway, you are the listing purpose. You are going there listing. GOA house agreement saying. If the seller is promised to give you the listing only, you can pull the GOA house. GOA house, you cannot do it for marketing purpose. That's okay. But you can go to the GOA house because it's a listing purpose. Pull the GOA house and see how many owners are in the property. How many owners are in the property? When did they buy the property? How long they have the property? It's very important, guys. How long they have the property is important because, for example, they bought the house in last year, and they want to sell it now. Compared to you and me know today's market and last year market was different. In that case, they want to sell it because they bought for the higher price. They bought it 4 years ago. Well, market went up so much for the last 2 years. So much information we're going to get. When did they buy the property? And if it's a brand new property from the builder, well, more advantage. Brand new property for the builder only cost 3 years ago. He made the agreement 5 years ago. lots of price, lots of different values going to be there in this situation. And for example, you can prepare yourself. They bought a house only 1 year ago. What is the next question? When you go there, inside question, not the marketing question, inside question, what kind of mortgage they have? Are they have a fixed mortgage? How much penalty they going to pay? That's your inside calculation on behalf of the seller. We don't want to talk outside right away because that will kill the market sometime. But that's in your side, okay? That go there and pull all the information and learn about the area. One of the days we had to drive around and see the areas, but now you can see it from the street map and the location map and CMA. I am not saying the CMA right away for every household. At least get the idea what is the comparison for that area. At least get the idea what is the comparison for the area and how much houses selling for. Today, time adjustment is there. Today, time adjustment, how many days the houses are saying in the market, what is the value there? There's difference coming from January, February, and right now. Get all the information in your mind. Get the comparison, at least compare market analysis, do the basic analysis, okay? And what you're going to do, you're going to prepare your folder. Your folder is supposed to be customized folder. Your picture supposed to be there in the folder. You are a real estate agent. You cannot say, I don't have a folder. I know 61 people was in our group right now. But if you say you don't have a folder in your hand, please make one, guys. Making the folder is going to, designing the folder may be going to be $150, $200. And you don't need to do the 500 folders, just to make 100 folders. Regular manual folders, don't go $1,000 folders, because you go to regular printers can make it for you, customized folders for $150 or $2 they may charge you. I get the bulk folders less than $1. 1,000 I get it for less than 1,000. But maybe if you are making smaller one, it's going to cost you only $150 or $2. But they are talking about your commission is your listing and commission for 50,000, 40,000 versus $1, $2 folders. Must have the folder. If you don't have the folder, please, whoever in the group right now, go there and make the folder for yourself. Either you work with the buyer or seller, you must have the folder. That's a free advertisement for you. Give out the folders. During my tax time, clients come in, doesn't matter. Even in one house, I give 3 folders. Of advertisement going to their house, going to be their tables, free of charges. Okay. All right. Okay. That folder, what you had to have in the folder, what you have to have in the folder, you are going to get the listing. Then what you must have? Listing form. There are statistics saying many agents going to the houses without the listing form. If you go there, listing form, that's mean the barber going to cut the hair without the scissors. You have to have the listing form. The listing form, I always advise you to do a little bit further. Listing form, go through your warehouse and fill out the listing form. Client's name, brokerage name, brokerage names, and maximum details. Only thing, don't put it in the commission as well as the start date. That's you can do in front of them. And everything else, fill it out. Everything is a fillable PDF format. Print it out, fill it and print it out. Data sheet, you don't need to fill out right away. Data sheet, maybe put the name only. You can, after you go there, you can see what they have in the house from the data sheet. But listing form is number 1, guys. In your folder, you have to have the listing form. Go to the forms and print out the listings. Print out the fill out the name of the seller and print it out. Okay, number 1. Second thing, usually we say go with the digital camera. Now everybody has a fancy phone and you can get the picture on the phone. I know you may go into you have to have a list of people who do the work. That's mean in your presentation folder, you have to have a list of people who you're going to ask them to get the pictures, who you're going to ask them to put the sales sign in the front, who you're going to ask to put the video tour, virtual tour, and the professional peoples. That you have to tell your clients when you go there. I am sending the professional peoples to get the pictures, but at the same time, you have to have anyway, your phone you have right now. Used to be, we will talk about the digital cameras. You may need to get the front picture. You may need to get the front picture to start up the listing right away. Front picture, you have to get the front picture without your sales sign. That's a mandatory part for Toronto Real Estate Board since 2010. You have to get the front picture by your own without the sale sign. Okay. Then you have the camera right now, and measuring tapes. Yes, measuring tapes is good to measure the properties in case the seller need it. You can get a connection with the seller, but you have an app these days. Your phone, you can download the app and you can measure the areas, but I can still sell you the measuring tape. If the client is an average client, you want to measure it and spend some time in the property. When your first appointment, they said, okay, go ahead and list the property. You want to have the connection with the people, even though you're using it or not. If you seller participate and do some measurement in a different areas, or even though inside, not inside the house, outside deck, front patio, those kind of things, if we are showing, you have a good chance to say with the seller in a professional manner. That's going to give you the listing. That's going to give you a professionalism and getting some idea. And your folder, you must have your marketing plan. You can simply walk in the $1 million house and say, give me the listing, I will sell you, give me 4% commission, 40,000 plus HST, the $45,000. You have to tell them what kind of marketing you're going to do. In your marketing, what you have to have, the feature sheets. What are the feature sheets? What kind of feature sheets you're going to make? Sample feature sheets from the previous houses. If you don't have the sample from the previous houses, keep it under the, make it some and keep it for the marketing material purpose. If you are an agent, put in the newspaper ad, keep your ad in the folder. In that case, when you go there, you have something to talk. Whatever you're going to talk, if any of the agents going there, if they don't have a presentation folder like yours, and they don't have the listing agreement, they don't have the marketing information, they don't have the feature sheets, other agent just go there, you have a chance because you are showing your professionalism. You have to feel like you have to prove with your seller just one single meeting. If I don't sell, nobody going to sell your house. I choose real estate. Oh, so many carriers out there to make money. But I like real estate. I love real estate. I'm doing a real estate as a professional business. You have to prove that one. That's directly and indirectly. Word of word, you have to be a strong word person. Give me the listing, I could sell your house. Guaranteed sell. That kind of word you have to give. Plus, you have to prove it with the material you have. Okay, your marketing. Just to pick, I'm picking just for the marketing side. What kind of marketing going to do? Okay, I give you 30 seconds. Anybody want to come and say what kind of marketing you're going to explain to your seller? You are in the house, seller's house. Seller asking you, why should I give the listing with 4% commission? Around $40,000, $50,000 commission. What kind of marketing you going to do? How are you going to be different than others? What are you going to say? How your marketing going to be? Marketing strategies are. It's okay. Let's put a note. Your marketing strategies, you have to tell the seller before listing. My marketing start even before listing. Coming soon postcard. I'm going to send out this postal code area around 200 at least, or 250 or 500 based on your budget. Coming soon, your house coming soon postcard. That coming soon postcard, you're going to mention your open house time. Saturday and Sunday, what time you're going to do? 2 hours open house is enough, not more than 1 hour, not more than 2 hours. 2 hours open house, Saturday and Sunday. You're going to do Sunday and Saturday or only Saturday, whatever you want to do. Your open house time going to be under the postcard. Before the listing come, the day of the listing come, what are you going to do? You're going to do the open house for the in-house open house. You are all the office agent, you're going to invite and you're going to say agent open house. You can tell your clients, I'm going to send you a listing to my database. I have 500 people in the database. I'm going to send out the database. I'm listing the property. Plus distributing the flyers, just listed. Coming soon, you're sending out just listed. I always advise you walk with your partners or you walk alone and throw the flyers everywhere. Just listed. And the just listed also coming with open house date. You are doing that one. Plus, you're going to tell them if you are a newspaper advertiser, I'm going to advertise a newspaper. Again, another extra point. You can give the seller this area now moving in, but community moving in. For example, I picking my area, Bellamy and Clinton. I used to live there. Now Bellamy area, Markham and Clinton area, who is the one moving in? Somalians peoples, and the certain, I want to use the community, guys, because that might be get offended for somebody else. But every area we can see one community move and one community coming in. Say I pick one example. What country I pick? Say Russia. Russian people are moving in this area. You're going to say you're a seller. I am going to advertise in 2 languages, English and Russian languages. Most of the Russians are moving in this area. Most of the Iranians are moving in this area. Most of the Somalians are moving in this area. I'm going to advertise in their newspaper. Those are the one, maybe the next agent go there for the listing presentation. He never thought about that one. That's the one, that's the way you have to do the presentation efficiently. And you're going to tell them, how are you going to do the open houses? Just to have the idea, preparation for the open houses. How are you going to prepare the open houses? But I'm saying every tool of information is important for the seller to get the listing. Especially, you have to have a half-way printout listing and the CMA sample and everything. Okay, before you go there, what you have to do? Your dress code is very important. Your dress code is very important. What kind of vehicle you are driving is important. I'm not telling anybody to buy the new vehicle, but at the same time, what kind of dress code? Don't go over dress. If you go over dress with a small townhouse, they may think he's so big. I don't think he has time to sell my house. Don't go under dress like shorts and color t-shirt, saying that one I'm selling with my knowledge and everything. I don't care about the dress code. That's important. You are a salesperson. You have to have the dress code nice. And okay, for example, there are some houses. If you're going to go for a $3 million, $4 million houses, your vehicle is one of the part. But the regular houses, if you go there with a regular vehicle until you make money, you can park the car on the side and go there. Don't park the car in the driveways. Never. And when you go and before you go and park the car, this is the homework, guys. This is not, make a note. If you're listening and making the note, it's the note. You go and drive around the area. You go and drive around the area and see how many garbages outside the areas and the narrow roads or wider roads, how many trees are there, age of the trees, and how many kids are playing. If you are going in the evening, how many kids are playing in the street? That means the kids are playing in the street. There is no park. They go and play. Or as the parents cannot afford to pay for the clubs to go there and the kids to play. That's mean kids are playing in the street. That's been cheap a neighborhood. If the larger trees and the wider trees and less people are in the less cars park in the street and everything give you the street value. You know what I mean. Okay, drive around the area before you go and park the car. At least go. Your appointment is 5 o'clock. You are the same day appointment. They call you in the morning. You're going there. Don't call before you go. If you call before you go, if they said don't come in and come an hour, you get stuck with the street. You already made an appointment. Maybe call them in 2 hours in advance and say again confirm it. You are coming the 5 o'clock. Never call in half an hour before you go there for the listing appointment. That's very dangerous. You end up saying the street. I went and pick up the kids and I'm late. Can you come in half an hour late? That's you're going to be struck. Okay. Go and park the car in 10 minutes in advance. At least 5 minutes in advance. Shut off your phone. Don't answer your phone call. Focus. Listing. You want to get the listing. And when you get down from the listing, make sure to keep the business card in your suit pocket in one place. Don't go there and check the business card in everywhere. Jacket pocket, suit pocket, pants pocket and everywhere. Just one side, you should know where your card is there. That much preparation you need. This is a business transaction. You have to feel like when you go to the listing, one of the lawyer going to the courts to give the presentation. One of the contractor going to get the big IT contract. Same thing, you are going to the seller's house to get the listing because that listing going to give you $40,000 to $50,000. That kind of priority you have to give them. Not to answering some funny calls before you go there. Focus, shut off the phone and go for the 100% focus. When you park the car and you walk in, there's a major homework I'm going to give you, mark it out. Look at the DOA house and seller's name. Seller's name, memorize the seller's name. You can identify the person who opened the door with the seller or different person. You can try at least, okay? If you call seller's name, when you go there, that's going to give you some plus point for the listing presentation, guys. Keep that in your mind. Okay, your package is ready. You have the halfway through below listing agreement and everything in your folder. You go there with the suit. With the suit, men or woman, you have to go with the dress code. You're going there and with the card, you know the card is ready. You're going on time. Going early is worse than going late. Again, going early is worse than going late. Anybody's house you going early is very disturbing them, especially for lunch or dinner or your appointments. Going late, you want to start with, oh, sorry, I'm late. You don't want to start the word with sorry for your visiting appointment. Go on time, within 1 minute gap. If you can give 100% to be late. No, I don't accept. As a trainer side or 25 years real estate industry side, I don't accept you're late. You have to go 10 minutes early and drive around the street and park the car and go there. Don't answer anybody's unnecessary phone call. Doesn't matter, any urgent call. Stop there. When you walk in, other homework, when you walk in, first you're checking the business card, secondly checking the folder, just everything is ready. And when you go there, your mind supposed to think the universal energy. You have to bring the universal energy to your business. The universal energy, you have to think, I want to see the sales sign, this house. I don't want to see anybody's sales sign. I want to get a sales sign no matter what. You have to feel it. You have to feel it. Your sign is there in the house loan. You going inside, sharp timing, only 1 minute up or down. But I prefer the timing. Without timing, your life is gone. Whoever follow the time is someone gets success. If somebody go late, you can have 100. You are a smart person, or you can do something else. Never going to get success. Be on time. Okay, go there and press the bell and going inside. Other homework, when you going inside, make a note. When you go inside, doesn't matter who you are, what color you are, doesn't matter who is the one, sellers, education and everything. All are human being in one line. Your dress code supposed to be important. Go with when you go, take the card and give the card, smiling face. First 3 minutes of your time. First 3 minutes of your time, not 5 minutes, not 4 minutes. First 3 minutes of your time. There are lines, guys. The reason I'm telling you, make the seller like you. How are you going to make the seller like you? Make the seller like you. Good words. Appreciation is the one making the people's, any age people's, even 1 year old baby or 90 years old man, looking for the appreciation. That's the one missing in our life. Appreciate them. When you go there, thanks to them, calling for the trusting and calling to sell the house. Just start with those kind of words. And when you go there, if the garden is nice, there's one nice plant is nice outside, or you don't see anything nice. When you go inside, at least you can see nice picture in the wall. Anything nice there. Oh, appreciate also very nice. If the baby's picture is there, tell them it's a very cute baby. Or else there is a nice ornament is there. Anything nice there, you tell them when you go inside. And within first 4 minutes, make them like you. That's one going to carry all the way around. And during the presentation time, is a listing presentation is a longer part. I'm going to go fast. I'm going to go fast and shorten up, because I have a custom to do part 1, part 2. What I get a bad experience, the person who listens part 1, the new people is going to be part 2. In that case, 2 days, part 1, part 2 presentation, I fail on that one for my throughout the experience. In that case, another 15 minutes, we have 12 minutes more. I'm going to go through and finish it up, the listing presentation. When you go inside, your intention, house condition doesn't matter. Every houses have a buyer. Every houses have a buyer. If it is, don't expect the house like your house. Don't expect the house like the house you sold it for $2 million the weeks ago, and today you're going here with the townhouse with the 600,000. Doesn't matter. Every house is going to sell. You don't need to like, dislike, prioritize. You have a salesperson, go with the regular mind to make them advice to sell it. Okay, when you go there, the regular clients ask you to come and sit down at the table, but you are not going to sit at the table. You are not a visitor to go there, sit in the family room and chat and drink coffee. What are you going to do? You go there and walk around the house. Get the permission. Tell them, let me have a look for the house. Everybody say, I'm not ready to clean. I'm not listing right now. I just want to stick them. Whatever they say, doesn't matter. Try to go in the house and walk in the house. Never complain anything. Never complain anything. Some agents think if they complain, you can get a lower price. No, their house, they love the house. Doesn't matter the condition. You are comparing the different houses every single day basis. That's the house they are living there. Never complain and go through and look at the houses, kitchen and everywhere. And when you walk around, see what kind of light bulbs are there, what kind of curtains they are putting in, what you had to do the staging, but no one advised at that particular point in time. Just to walk there and check the house upstairs and downstairs and everything, and start to come down and come to the kitchen. Don't go to sit on the kitchen table. Kitchen table is very personal. Every single day the family sit there. Never sit at the kitchen table. Some trainers advise to sit at the kitchen table. That's very personal. Come to the dining table. Come to the dining table, or the table is closer to you. If the smaller houses, it doesn't matter. Even living room, if the sofas are close by, or as the bigger houses, go to the kitchen table. Go to the dining table, not the kitchen table. And you start to talk and ask the opinion of the house, how much price how much price they are looking for. That's supposed to come from the seller's mind, and they always want to offer higher price and the lower commission. Your side is lower price and the higher commission. Get the bargain, but at the same time, today's standard, buyers are deciding the price rather than the sellers. Agents are not deciding the price. The agents know how to value the price. No need to put 200,000 over asking and 500,000 over asking. And your side, just as a real estate salesperson, lower price and higher commission. But get the listing, and ask the clients what they're looking for. That's the way you have to start to do it. And I'm going to, as I said, I'm going to go for a little bit faster. After you get the listing, spend some time, arrange the photographers. If the house have a spotlights outside and a bar inside or something like that, you have to arrange the photographer, daytime photograph and the nighttime photograph. That's very important. Or else you have to go yourself again, the night photograph and the daytime photograph, the professional photographer take it, and you have to get a virtual tour. And you have to inform the clients about the staging, magic of staging. Mostly clients might say, my house is good, I don't need to pay the staging. The staging is a very good example. Some agent asked me why I need staging. Staging is one of the simple examples you can make the seller understand. You are a beautiful person, but when you wake up from the bed, you are looking your face, and you're ready to go to work, you are looking the face. Same face, few hours is different. Same thing, the staging. Before staging and after staging. Staging always bring the house in a different level. And you have to explain the staging. And based on the staging, you can bargain more commission. Who is going to pay for the staging and everything? If you have a special questions, you ask me. As I said, I want to round it up. And staging is very important. Even some stages come and do the staging with the material, whatever they have, minus staging. And you have to do the staging before you get the pictures. Do the staging. Staging is important. As far as I know, staging is important to give you the value of the property. And advise the seller. Most of the problem for the sellers, they have a big appliances, overfitting appliances in the smaller houses. Not many people have the capacity to put the regular size appliances. And in this case, you have to move the appliances, few appliances, and tell the seller to pack the unnecessary stuff. Please make a note. Tell the seller to pack up unnecessary and put it in the boxes. And the boxes, you don't mind. You can buy the boxes from moving place, U-Haul or different places, and you can buy some 10 boxes and give them to pack it out. The packing is very, very important, guys. I may do next class for the closing techniques. I think next class we have some of the plan. Can we have some of the plan for the environmental things, and we can talk about that one before the class end. Who is going to come and talk about the environmental issues and other stuff? Anyway, the packing is very important. Packing is going to give you win and win category. Why I said win and win? So two advantages. If somebody pack the clothes and everything, that means they are putting unnecessary stuff in the boxes. House look clean. The next advantage, major advantage for me, if they start to pack, they won't ready to move. They don't change your mind and sit in the same house. Everything is packed. Yes, we are ready to move. Same thing like vacation. Before you go to vacation, you pack your bag. That the packing the bag is make you feel like you go to the vacation. Same thing, packing the boxes, the things is one of the way you are making them to make a move from the house. Okay, there are advantage for the packing side, and the staging side is important. Inform them to change the lights and light bulbs, bright lights, minor things. That's your side. And after the listing is very important, guys. After the listing, you're going to fill out the listing application, MLS listing. MLS listing, you have to put some closing techniques. You must use the closing techniques. in the MLS listing, not only putting the information on the MLS listing and give it to secretaries, and secretary put AAA client living in this house, Mr. Clean living in this house. That nonsense, we don't need it. You had to write the listing with the closing techniques on it. Closing techniques means number one closing techniques is a closing date. The closing date 30 to 60 days as soon as possible, and June 24th closing. You are telling other agent, my client want to sell the house by June 24th. He closed the house on June 24th. That's one of the sales techniques, closing techniques. You are indirectly giving to the other salesperson, bring the offer and close the transaction. That's important, guys. That's one little things I'm telling you. Closing techniques. And next thing, for example, appliances. Even though they have expensive appliances, already 3 years use. After 3 years use, according to CRA, your appliances zero value. Only write-offs only 3 years. They bought it for $5,000. They want to say, I'm going to take the appliances, fridge and stove is there, washer and dryer, I'm going to take it out. Bargain with the seller and give all the appliances. That's the closing techniques. And the buyer who buying it, they are getting all the appliances, and they don't need to go through and buy the dryer and cook it up and everything. All these ones. Okay, work out with the sellers too. Give more things to the buyer. In that case, it's good. For example, the person is an old person. The person is a certain age person over 70s, and they want to sell the house, and they are going for the downsizing. What is the best thing to do? When they take back mortgage. Even yesterday, one of the salesperson called me, and he want urgently mortgages and everything. And I gave him some ideas. I don't have the money because we already closed two deals this week with from our capital company. And I told him the best thing to ask the salesperson, if the seller can give some 20% or 30% as a vendor take back for 6 months, and you can refinance. On a believe me or not, he did the vendor take back and close the transaction yesterday. Not to close it. So he's ready to close the transaction. I didn't check with him after that one. Anyway, vendor take back is one of the best things. For example, the seller want to sell the property and get the money, and what he's going to do the money? Going to put the money in the bank for 1% interest for the GIC, or 1.5% GIC for locked in for 5 years. They're giving 2% GIC. Inflation is 6.8%. Take a vendor take back mortgage. Get the 6% mortgage and give it to the clients. In that case, buyer like it. Buyer need more down payment. Easy to qualify the mortgage these days. There are a lot of things, guys, in the listing. You had to work on it. This is your life. This is your work. This is your business. Everything is important. Pictures. I know many agents send the link to the pictures. The photographer send the link to the secretaries. Who is the one going to select the pictures? Secretary who putting the pictures. You are an educated salesperson. You should know which picture is supposed to go first, which one going to go second, which one going to go third. That's the way you had to work on your listing. That's the way you had to work on your listing, guys. Work on everything. That's very important. And we are running out of time, guys. And good luck. When you have a listing, until you sell, you have to follow it up. Until you sell, you have to follow it up. Every minor thing is important. Every minor thing is important. Open houses. Last 2 years, we don't have open houses. It's come back again. Do as much open houses as possible to promote your name, promote your face in the street. Open house. Don't stand inside the open house. Stand outside the open house. Stand in the street and expose your face to get more listings. I'm going to finish it up with only one extra. I get the email. I don't want to miss this one. I get the email from one of the lawyers. Most of the lawyers send me the emails for few information. This lawyer sent the email about the new changes for the assignment clause. Kana, are you in the Zoom?
Yeah.
Okay, then get ready for the next class. You said somebody coming in talking about the environmental after 1 minute. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. The lawyer sent me the information. We all know. We all know the assignment. Even though budget passed, before the budget come out, they already put the Parliament pass it through. April 7th, they started to make the changes, and the first changes they did immediately for the assignments. Start of May 7th, I will already now. May 7th, the assignments are under the subject to HST. I did this in the 2 times. I did this one. 2 times I did this seminar. But after May 7th, any assignment still you are making it. What are the profit you are making it? For example, 500,000 500,000, you bought the property as an assigner, you're going to assign to 700,000, 200,000 profit. That's subject to HST. The good part government made it. Who is the one going to pay the HST? Assigner, selling party. Most of the HST, the payable by the buyer side. But this assignment case, assigner, original buyer, he's the one making the profit. Government tell the assigner to pay the HST unless otherwise, assigner is a non-resident. This may be shifted to the assignee side. And the second thing, the profit is not a capital gain. The profit is coming as a business gain. Everybody report this as a business gain. And other part he mentioned it, just the deposit. For example, 500,000 purchase can be townhouse, condos, commercial, doesn't matter. He already, the original purchaser, assigner, already paid 100,000 deposit. After the sales, assigner going to get 200,000 profit plus 100,000. All these 300,000 subject to HST. Unless otherwise, if we are putting the note in the assignment clauses, assignment agreement saying that one, that $100,000 going back towards the different categories, we can try to escape the HST for the original deposit, whatever we paid after the tax money for the assigner. The profit definitely going to be under the HST, and plus all the assignment of agreement, we have to make sure the purchase price or assignment price, assignment transfer, whatever word you're using it, including the HST. Otherwise, the HST going to be shifted to the buyer side. Carefully look at the assignment. Advise the seller to close the transaction and sell it afterward rather than the assignment, because assignment is going to cost them business profit plus HST. The government trying to stop the assignment complete. That's what we can see it, that the lawyer sent last week, and he remaining for this one. I thought maybe I can remind you guys too. Okay, Kana, if you have time, can you explain what kind of meeting we're going to do next week?
Yeah, definitely. Recently I've been working on a lot of commercial mortgages, and in the commercial sphere, there's a lot more inspections that are required on the property. So especially with agents that are more commercially involved, or they're working with multi-residential properties, gas stations, and etc., this will definitely be a great session for you guys. We're going to have the owner of OHE Consultancy Group. They specialize in environmental testing, about hazardous material, occupational hygiene, building science, engineering, environmental engineering, all the types of inspections, regulations required by financial institutions for financing purposes, banks, private lenders, government institutions, when it comes to purchasing or refinancing or even developing any form of commercial type of unit. So we're going to have the owner of that company, their engineers. We're going to have quite a few components of their team that's going to be coming on board. They are OHE consultants situated in Mississauga. They deal with plenty of banks. They actually are recruited by lenders, Scotiabank, CIBC, few other private lenders, and also they work with government institutions as well when it comes to environmental damage assessments on properties and etc. like that. So it's going to be a very detailed, oriented seminar we're going to be having next week, Saturday. So they actually sent me an email this morning saying that the presentation, what they're going to be doing is real estate environmental investigations. So definitely have questions available. There's going to be a lot of things for us to learn out of this. So anyone that's that's involved in the commercial space, definitely have some questions available. We'll be sending some materials before the session on this case as well. And Selva today was speaking about listing presentations and how to market yourself in today's environment. Especially with the market changing from a seller's to mediocre to now a buyer's market. So in this case, I've also reached out to one of our social media marketing managers, and he's going to be coming in a couple of weeks to discuss about some of the new trends into how to market properties, especially in today's environment, on social media platforms. So 2 things to look forward to.
Another 2 minutes, guys. There are 2 questions in the chat box. The first question, I have a question about the NOI calculation from gross income. TMI only or the include the vacancy rate? As for my knowledge, we don't consider the vacancy rate because we are going to see the vacancy going to fill it up in the near soon. We don't want to keep the vacancy as a permanent issue. The cap rate is we're going to calculate the cap rate. The question is I have the question about the NOI, net operating income, calculation from the gross income, the TMI or include the vacancy rate. We are going to calculate the gross income. I don't see the name of the person who sent the message. We are going to take the gross income less TMI. Less TMI is coming up net operating income without the mortgage calculation. That's the one going to calculate the cap rate. The next question, hi Selva, did you say on assignment, say there is a profit of 100,000 and deposit of 100,000, so HSE will be payable on 200,000? Answer is yes and no. Even the new budget, even the deposit and the profit is applicable to HST, but under the special circumstance, the motive of the property and your profile is a first assignment or second assignment, nature of the person, type of the transaction, so many things. Right now, just everything under the HST, but if you are drafting the assignment and you are putting the word the deposit is going back to the purchase sale agreement in different wording, and we can escape the deposit under the HST. Only the profit we had to pay the HST. But in the regular way, just everything going under the HST. But still we can work it out for the deposit side. Even the lawyer also who closing the transaction supposed to know this kind of information. Otherwise, the lawyer might ask you to pay for the HST for everything. Then answer this question, yes, we can eliminate that HST for the deposit side. The second thing, okay, guys, that's all today. This is our first long weekend, Victoria Day on March 23rd, next Monday. Enjoy the long weekend. And we're going to have other few long weekend. Definitely July 1st long weekend. We're not going to have a seminar. And next week, arranging the special environmental side, we'll meet for the next class. I'm ready for the in-house coffee meeting and everybody. On Wednesdays, not for the Zoom coffee meeting. If you guys like it, if I get at least 10 people text me, you like to come for the coffee meeting on Wednesdays evenings, yes, I can arrange it. Otherwise, we'll meet next Saturday morning with the, I have another question coming here. Say assignment is done 1 year before, recording HSC payable when closing, just, it doesn't matter when you sign the assignment. Assignments are subject to HST. And assignment are subject to business profit. That's all, guys. Thank you. Good luck and enjoy the holidays.
Thank you, Silvana.
ARASA Ride Sharing Company ARASA.ca என்ற இணையதளத்துக்கு சென்று இந்த ARASA டிரைவர்ஸ் ஆப்பினை டவுன்லோட் செய்து டிரைவர்ஸாக வேலை வாய்ப்பை பெறுங்கள். மாதாந்தம் $4,000 வரை சம்பாதியுங்கள். வணிக நிறுவனங்கள் ARASA இணையதளத்தின் மூலம் மளிகைப் பொருட்கள் மற்றும் உணவுப் பொருட்களை விற்பதோடு வாடிக்கையாளர்களுக்கு டெலிவரி செய்யலாம். தமிழில் தகவல்களை அறியாளையுங்கள். GTA பற்றி 40 ஆண்டுகள் அறிந்து கொண்டவரும் வீடு விற்பனை துறை ஊடாக மக்களால் அறியப்பட்டவருமான சிவா பிள்ளை. 416-854-0005. Taxi broker licensed by City of Toronto.